we go. Everything works. Cool. So that was fun. Always good to hear from Joe. Very thorough as always. I love it. Quite the opposite of me. I take two seconds to look at it and realize mostly it's not worth looking at, but he really will go into the details and explain it well. So I like that. That's really good. Anyways, here we are. Anyone got anything on your minds with this fun time we're having in the markets these days? We've already had a little bit of fun today, which I'll bring out. But let me know if you've got anything you want to talk about. So earlier before the open, I had the level right about here on MES, and I took the short, and it stopped out a little while ago, maybe what, 15 minutes ago or so, half an hour ago. And the same thing on MNQ. What was it? I've moved the level since then. But anyways, it was a short and stopped out. Let's go back to the MES. The level was here, and it was pretty straightforward. You have the support area. This level is very interesting because its support previously was resistance, so key area. I identified this as the breakout, and once it was down here, I put the limit order to enter short here with a stop right above it, target further down. Got the entry, and it was working for a little while, and stopped working. And that was it. That's how I like to do this. And again, really what's fun is when I'm putting it on, this kind of trade, you know, it looks like this. The price action is down here someplace, and I'm not bothered with the real-time price action. All I'm bothered with is this was a good-looking consolidation with lower highs. You have a pretty obvious level to work with. The breakout happens. I'm observing the price action using the footprint charts right at the breakout level and how the breakout happened. After that, I'm just going to put on the entry, the limit order to enter the retest of the breakout, and that's it. Just walk away. Sure enough, it filled, went halfway to the target, or not even halfway, and got stopped. So again, very simple sort of trading, not really bothered with live action, kind of doing things in retrospect. Because you know what the fun is? Everyone's excellent with screenshots, right? So I figured might as well trade on it. And I like that. I really do. It's very, very easy. Very simple to be able to put these trades on, and you calculate the RVR. I don't mind taking a couple of stop outs. And it works really well. And with those two, I also took, here, I'll show you. I'll bring out, I have the screenshots on my phone, so I'll share those ones later, but I'll show you where it is on the chart, at least here. This is oil, MCL, and where were we? Just around 3 a.m., I think it was. Way back. Oh, no, that's wrong. I think it was up in this area. 92, yeah, it was up in this area where I got into the short here. So I identified this as a consolidation, this area at the top, then the breakout, and I put in the order, if you remember what I was talking about yesterday in the last few days, is getting wicked into positions, right? Rather than getting wicked out of positions, which we all hate. So I put the order after the breakdown in this area. When it starts to break down, I figured, okay, there's a consolidation that looks like a breakdown. And I put the order in to enter just about here with the stop right above it. And it got in. I literally got wicked into this position on this candle. The target was further down. It was way down here someplace. And that was really fun. I didn't even know I got positioned because I don't have the alerts or anything. I just put it on at some point, I don't know, 6 hours ago. I left it and looked at it a few hours later. It was down here someplace. I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's just moving. But then it didn't get to my target. It was low. It didn't get to my target, and I got stopped out someplace. I don't know where I got stopped out. I know I got stopped out. It was somewhere here. Anyways, that was the whole point of the entry. I have the whole screenshot thing properly with all the executions and all that. So I'll bring that to you later. But that's the whole point. Getting wicked into these positions. But here's another one I'll show you that was even more interesting. It was on the MNQ, and I've moved the levels since then, but I'll again bring that up here. Yeah, this is it. Look at this area right here. This level hasn't changed. This was, again, overnight. And I identified this as a consolidation. I identified this as resistance, right? And then once this breakout happened here, it was probably in this area when I noticed the breakout. So I put an order in to enter long down here with a stop right below it. Again, looking at the footprints and the price activity. And the target was right over there. It was just in this resistance, right? So it did get there. But in this case, it didn't pull back and retest and go. So the whole thing went to the target, would have been 20R if I'd got the entry, but it didn't. So that's one thing you got to know, of course, if you're going to trade like this. So that was one. And on the other side of it, look at this one again. I had a second one, I believe. Yeah, again, on this double top, like I said, this was an area I was looking at, right? The level I had was up here. So this area, they identified the double top, the breakdown here. So as I identified the breakdown, it was probably in this area someplace where I put an order to enter short up here. It never got there, never wicked me in, it just went. So there was twice that I missed out on 20R trades in the last 8 hours or so on MNQ. And sure enough, when I did get into a position short here, it got stopped out. It's pretty silly, but whatever. That's how it is, right, in trading. So just like in any strategy, you have the pros and cons. You got to decide. You got to decide what group of pros and cons you like to live with. These days, I can live with this. This is much easier than living with 0DT options and 5,000 contracts and all that stuff. This is just easier. So, yeah, those were two of them that should have worked. But anyways, again, retest of the breakout is the price structure I'm looking at. And the way I do it is I'm just watching, very precisely watching these footprint charts. And I'll see if I can find you guys some live examples here while we're here today. And then I'll put in the limit orders to enter. And with those limit orders, it's not just enter, it's enter with the stop and the target already in place. So the software just does it if the price gets there. It'll enter and it'll stop me out, or it'll hit the target. Either way, doesn't matter. So there were two, and then there were, yeah, the oil one wicked me in and didn't work. Worked for a while, then stopped out, and then the, yeah, MNQ and MES later. So 3 stops and 2 no-goes so far. And everything I'm seeing looks like a mess. Which again, you know, I find this very typical for the New York session. Trading overnight has been really easy. I gotta say, it's easy to find these setups. Like it wasn't too difficult to identify, you know, this was a great big consolidation. And if you don't identify it, no big deal. You identify it up here after it breaks out and you realize, oh, look at that consolidation. Then you put the order in to enter on that retest, which you may have done it over here. To me, though, the move was over. Once it went already, that's it. There's no retest. So you can identify these sorts of things. All right, let's look at this now. MES, it's in this key area again, right about now. And if you look at this, here, bring in the level, that looks like a decent little top over there, right? Resistance, right about, oh, get this line on. Right about over there, you have these higher lows, so that ascending wedge after it's been a little bullish, so interesting. But what I want to see is what's going on at the resistance. This is where I'm bringing in the footprints. So I like the structure here. The pattern looks good, but what's really going on at the top? I want to see a tremendous amount of buying. So you can see lots of green, right? Green means a lot of buying. Makes sense. That's an anomaly. By anomaly, I mean lots of market buyers, but the limit sellers were too powerful. So it dropped. And what else? Next time it got up there, again, you're seeing that. Lots of market orders to buy, but unable to go up. Same thing. So anomalies. Same thing again, slightly higher. So I like this. This makes sense as an area of firm resistance, right? So once you have conviction on the level of the resistance in this case, then you want to see the breakout happen. You want the breakout happening with conviction. You want to see the price move above it. And again, you want to see that volume on the buying increase. You want to see lots of green bars, basically. Heavy, heavy green bars. With that, the price going up. Once all that's there, that's a real breakout. As you can see right now, not really happening, right? Once you have that big breakout and the price is up in this area someplace, then I'll put the order in. And I'll try and enter. Let's say if this was where I saw the big green bars, and let's say this is where I found the anomaly, I'll put my entry to enter here. So the price comes down and bounces off with those buyers still there. I'll get in, I'll put the stop right below, most likely right below here, these the anomaly area. And then you have your big RVR going all the way to wherever your target is, way up there. So that's how I'm using these things. That's how I'm entering these things. Again, nothing more than a quality consolidation leading to a quality breakout. In that case, just put it on. And it's 10R, so it's okay if you stop out 5 times or 8 times. No big deal, right? So at the moment, we're seeing the quality level, or at least a quality resistance area. We're not getting a good breakout out of it. So let it sit. Let it really break out. This is very local though. Let's zoom out a bit. And I have this bigger picture level here, but it's been really messy with this level. So I'm not convinced on the bigger time frame of it. It's a tricky zone. Anyways, let's see how this breakout happens. If it happens, you can enter. Maybe it'll be an hour from now when you enter and go up there. And that's how you get these 10R plus trades, at least the way I'm doing it these days. Again, with options, I don't think I ever had a 10R trade. I had big trades, but I think the biggest was probably in the 5-6R category, and those were rare. Most of them ended up 3 or 4R, I think. A lot of times because I had to de-risk with the time decay problem. So you'll land up with 3R. But again, futures are allowing this kind of trading, and time zone in your favor, right? Just let it go. You still have many hours today before the futures market closes. And I'm not going to sit here looking at it for hours and hours. I'll look at it every couple of hours, maybe on the phone usually. If there's a setup, like we're beginning to maybe see a setup here, something like this, then maybe I'll look at it, get excited. That's it. That's basically all I'm doing today, and I have all these tickers to look at. They're a whole lot of fun. I'll try and find for you guys where that oil future was, the oil contract, because I got into a very good one. And then it went and it stopped out. It's weird. It went like 4R and stopped out, something like that. So the entry area was 91. I think it was 91, target 87. Let's see what that is. Should have looked at it earlier. Anyways, 3 o'clock. Zoom way in. I think it was here. All right, I think confused. 3 a.m. Yeah. So this is where I got wicked in, I think, in this area. Something like this. Super tight stop. Anyways, I'll bring you the screenshot later and you'll see this. The target would have been down there. And it didn't work out. It stopped out. But those are good ways to enter. That's why it's hard to get excited when you have 3R trades. Because you're going to lose 2 trades in a row at some point, right? You're going to lose 5 trades in a row at some point. I don't know how to survive those unless your winners are big. So unless it gives you a big opportunity, my whole thinking is don't bother.
Avi, once you get the taste of like NR plus trades, you tend to like those. And focus on those.
Yeah.
I mean, those are nice home runs. It's great to get base hits, but yeah, it's those home runs that really make a difference in your P&L. So yeah, that once you get the taste of it, like I have recently, then it's like, yeah, I like those bigger R's.
Yeah, they make sense. They really do. And as you're saying correctly, once you get the taste of it, nothing else will do, in the sense that I won't even, I'll plan it for 10R or 20R or whatever. And if it goes halfway, it'll go to 5R. I won't even bother. I won't even take it off. I may move the stop to break even if I see it's gone through a resistance area or something like that. De-risk it, but that's it. I won't bother taking the profit. So it's either a full trade or most of the time a stop out. And with that, with a 20% win rate, you're making tremendous amounts of money. You got to realize 10 Rs regularly, I mean, wow. It's a lot. You can absorb a lot of hits, which is important again. Very important, right? You really need that. Oil was here. That was 6 or 7 hours ago. I was looking at it there. Different time frame. Anyways, right now, live in the market, I don't see anything working. I'm curious about oil, but it's really messy. There's nothing here. Before I even look at footprints, I'm looking at just candle patterns. And there's nothing here. Gold, of course, is in play. Long earlier, but I wasn't looking at it at that time. I don't see anything at the moment. Let's go back to the Qs. What a mess, huh?
Yeah, I
So
don't
this
see anything either. The spine of the cues just don't. Yeah, I don't see anything that looks of interest on my side either.
yeah, you know, nothing worth it. No, well, that's a good sign. That means you know what you're looking for. If you start seeing things everywhere, then this is where I start saying you're trading like an amateur, and you got a lot of work to do. But most of you guys in here know what you're looking for, so that's good.
It's
Stick to
good
your guns.
practice and patience to sit on my hands.
Yeah. Make it easy on yourself. Don't sit there and watch the screen. That's what I like to do. If I sit there and watch it, eventually I'll manufacture something because I've traded 20 different strategies over the years. I'll put on some other kind of candlestick chart and I'll figure something out. Oh, look at that. It's long now. Let's go. You don't want to do that. So personally, I just go do something else. And there's plenty on my to-do list all the time. So that's a good way to go. 80-20. Look at this, guys, just on levels real quick. See this level I've got on MNQ, just looking from middle of yesterday up to now. That was obvious support, which turned into a tiny bit of consolidation before a breakdown, which was obvious resistance then, which turned into a breakout, which turned into support again, which turned into resistance again as it broke down. So this level to me is a very important area. It keeps turning around here in the recent past. You guys remember what we call these levels that happened recently? Those of you who have seen some of my webinars in the last 3 years, probably this one was 3 years ago, I think. Anyone? No? What do you call this level that recently has been very active? Oh, you're all lost, huh? Bunch of overtraders. Chromatic levels, right? Remember that? The whole webinar on nature and trading, fractal patterns, chromatic levels. Told you, man, I got 20 strategies in my head. It's not really the healthiest thing, but it's here. But anyways, you're finding levels. This is one of the best ways to do it. Find one that has flipped its orientation as a support and resistance. It was support, then it flipped resistance. And it's done it recently and cleanly. You have all that in place, then you got something good. And believe in it. Looks like now we're getting some activity, at least here on MNQ. Who got excited? Was that news? Someone was talking about news earlier. Anyone knows anything?
Spouts popping. Let's see.
I'm fine. Yeah. Oh, it's at that interesting level. Oh, wait for it. It's so fast. It's too fast. Again, I'm used to trading screenshots. This is it's moving. A little unusual. All right, let's go back and look at this level when the most recent time that was at this level, which was early in the day, within the first 5 minutes. There you go. We had a big anomaly right here, 931. And sure enough, it never reached there again. It was a good drop. Ooh, that's an excellent looking double top as far as footprints are going. So that was in play earlier. Now, let's see. Yeah, went through it, went back through it. There's a more local resistance just recently where it's bouncing off. You can see that where it broke out from just a minute ago. If you believe in such things. Look at this one. Where is it? These lines are storing. All right, so there you go. Just about in this area. You can see that resistance break, and maybe is this a retest? Maybe. Let's see, could be. But I would look at the level itself. You can see the anomaly, so that was there. What else? It was there again, and then the breakout happened just a minute ago with some excitement. Yeah, so there you go. It's a good one. After that, you can place your limit orders to enter the retest. So the retest, I think, it's a valid retest. I want to enter it, but I'm not going to do this. This is too fast. Unnecessary. I'll wait for much bigger picture setups, and this is not exactly a key level, right? It's right below the key level. That would make me hesitate for sure. But yeah, let it be. This looks more like news, or something's making it move. Not the kind of trades I would like to take. Like up here, just put it on and wait for hours, and then it goes. Those are more reliable. But anyway, you guys have activity now, volatility now, if you like it. Let's look at this one, the MES. Yeah, same story. Let's look at oil. Oil might be more interesting.
I think Trump had tweeted, Pakistan welcomes and fully supports ongoing efforts to pursue dialogue on the war in the Middle East in the interest of peace and stability in the region beyond. So Pakistan, that was a tweet about 8 minutes ago. So I'm wondering if that's what just caused the big volume and price spike in the markets.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, this kind of news, these days makes things move. Could be. Could be.
Kind of makes sense to have True Social app installed and just follow what he's saying, because he tweets something and then the market moves. So if you want to stay tuned with what's happening, it might be a good idea.
Yep, it's a good way to go. And downsize your risk. Put on these 10-hour kinds of situations. You can lose half of them, no problem at all. You make lots of money. Because, well, things are excessively volatile these days. So downsizing your risk makes sense. And yeah, know when even the volatility increases, which is when tweets go up.
The only issue for me is that was such a big pop. The risk is too great, so I kind of have to let things play out, because I want to be able to get in where the difference between a close and a low is just small, so I could load the boat and really increase my R. But when you get a big pop like that on the chart, everything is skewed, and I'd rather just sit and wait for a better entry.
Exactly. I'm doing the same. We'll wait for it. It's still early. It's barely, 11 a.m. It's usually after noon or so. If I'm trading in the New York sessions, around then, an hour from now, I may find something. But even recently, in the last couple of weeks, I've traded in the London session more than anything else. It's actually been really fun. Again, these big moves, right? Get things up and then down. And they're so slow again, like I'm saying. When this was happening here, you got this consolidation leading to this breakout and this double top, and it went back down. All of this, when it was happening in real time, I was here watching it, and it looked just like this, like a screenshot. It didn't look like it was moving at all. Compared to trying to trade this stuff in the last 5 minutes, we've seen jumping up and down 3 times. I mean, what's easier to trade, man? Like you were saying, I've just put on the, you can put on a better risk, manage your risk better when you don't have it skewed with these bigger moves. I'm much more leaning towards that kind of trading anyways. But yes, technicals go, MNQ, there we go. So it did that consolidation. You have the breakout level. It did the breakout. Twice it's retested, which is a bit something I don't like. One retest makes sense twice. Now it's just getting messy. And of course, it's sitting at that bigger picture level. That's the one you want to pay attention to. Right here, that traumatic level we just discussed. And by bigger picture, I mean just since yesterday. So please be careful with all this stuff. And I'm curious on oil. I've been able to catch some real neat ones on oil. And even today, this whole thing was already a good one until it did not go for 20 or so. Eventually took a stop out. So, it's worth it. It's worth giving yourself the opportunity. Otherwise, you'll never make money. So what do we have here? Yeah, this just looks really messy. Anyways, that's what I'm looking at. What's on your minds, guys? What do y'all want to talk about? It's a bit of an unusual time for me to be on the microphone, but it worked out. I happened to be available, got myself home, and so here we are. Might as well do it. So, whatever you want to talk about, we can do it. This is a gold contract again, and it's interesting. But this area just overhead, that's kind of tricky to know where to put the level. Most recently, you know where the resistance was overnight. But yesterday's activity, whoa, be careful overhead. Yeah.
Hey, Avi, how are you?
Hey, Piyush, I'm good. Good to have you back in here.
Thanks. Not good to be back. Been on quite a few excursions over the past number of months, but I am now intrigued by all your futures trading activity. So I'd like to get into the micros. I traded the indices many years back, but I went back to stocks as being from Silicon Valley. That was my comfortable place. But I think the hours for futures trading, especially with my travel, I think would work out better for me. I'll have to start doing that.
Yeah, get into it. A lot of us in here seem to be going in that direction now. So you're in the right place if you want to get involved.
So I've got Trading View, their premium version, and what data plan do I need to get these micros?
I don't know. I've got it with NinjaTrader.
Oh, you got it with Ninja. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm using
Gotcha.
Ninja as the broker.
Okay.
Just link the broker to this premium Trading View subscription, and it works.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that's why I'm doing it. But anyone else here know anything more about that? This is how I found it to work. I don't know if it's Trading View that's actually providing the data or it's coming from Ninja. I don't really know. I'm assuming it's Trading View with the plan. I don't know.
Yeah, I just haven't looked into it. I'll take a look into data plans there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. Futures, again, as you were just mentioning, the freedom is excellent. The trading hours, you can build it around your lifestyle as you please, which is, even for me, I trade in the morning in Dubai now. I don't need to be up at night watching the markets.
Nice.
So that's an advantage. And then, of course, you don't have the zero DTE problem or time decay problem as you do with options. So that makes it easier. And of course, you get plenty of leverage, which you get with options, but there's even more here with futures, especially with Ninja. So that's something to be aware of. And no PDT rules, so you can go with a small account. You don't need to bother with PDT.
Nice. Yeah, I'm heading back to Australia in May, and the last couple times I went, I had the best intentions of trading U.S. stocks, but man, the hours were terrible. So I've got a couple of months to map what I do with futures, and then give that a go when I'm there.
Yeah, take your time with it. It's a lot easier compared to what you've done earlier, trading the open and all those ORB things, and then options. This is just easier. So yeah, should be all right.
Excellent. Are things slowing down as far as missiles dropping and whatnot in your neck of the woods?
Yeah. Well, I haven't been close to getting blown up yet. Well, recently, so that's good. The first day was, pretty wild. There were lots of explosions everywhere. But since then, really, it was really just the first day that was super intense. since then, there have been plenty of bangs, but especially now in the last few days, let's say maybe even a week, not much going on. Really not. You hear the jets and see them flying overhead all the time.
Oh,
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Maps.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Good.
yeah, it's pretty normal, actually. I like it. There's less traffic. People got scared and left, so this is great. I got Dubai all to myself. It feels like I like it. Free.
You know what I heard the other day is that a lot of these flights, these evacuation flights, are going either empty or with very few people because a lot of the Americans and Australians, et cetera, just want to stay.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
They don't want
I'm
to come
one of them.
back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm one of them. The U.S. Embassy called me, like, get on the flight. Next few hours, go to the airport. I'm like, what? No, man. Where are you going to go? I'm not going to go to New York.
Yes.
This is yeah, no big deal here. It's funny. They stopped chartering flights, and now they're asking for what, $200 billion more for drone killing stuff. I don't even know.
Yeah. I don't really track a whole lot of things in the political realm these days. Just focus on trading.
It's a better life this way.
Yeah, lately what I've been doing with my trading is you had me way back when last year, you had me focusing more on levels. And so I've kept that theme, but I'm not doing obviously the 8 a.m. candle. But what I do like to focus on and what TradingView makes really easy, especially for stocks, is automatically plotting prior day high and prior day low. And those are really my two main key levels that I look at. And so I have a simple strategy for when my stocks are within the prior day's range and then when they're outside. So when they break outside, then I'm just looking for a trend play. And when they're inside, I'm looking to fade the edges. Yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty high probability.
Yeah, that's a good way to go for day trading. That's probably the simplest style of day trading. And you'll get enough trades per day where you don't feel like you're gonna miss out on a move.
Yeah.
I like it. Simple enough, because you don't have to draw levels. That's also helpful.
Yeah, I'm tired of. I'm lazy in that respect now. This thing makes it. Dash Trader and TradingView make it simple where it just automatically plots these levels. And then I use essentially the 20 SMA. So once you break out of the prior day's range, then I just track the 20-day the 20 period SMA on a 5-minute or a 2-minute chart. And as long as there's a reasonable angle and the stock is in proximity, you look for an entry in the direction of the trend. Pretty simple.
Yeah, perfect. And by doing that, the big advantage also is you avoid all the opening mess. If you have a little rule, stay away for 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
You just trade with that kind of high and low strategy. Easy enough. Not much to think about.
TradingView also, you can set watch list level alerts, and you can set alerts on automatically on your level, your prior day high, prior day low level. So you can increase the list of stocks that you're tracking, and then once you hear an alert, you pull up that stock, you see where it's at, and whether you want to take a trade. But when it's not in proximity or crossing one of those levels, then you don't even have to look at it.
Yep. Nice. That's a good way to go. You avoid staring at the screens all day, right? Because the longer you sit there and stare at it, the more likely you're going to manufacture something.
I tend to do that. That's over trading is one of my sins that I return to regularly.
Again, I got a rule in place to not do that. So that's good. Simple trading. That's what the 8 a.m. levels did for me as well for a long time.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Same idea.
It's either at a level or it's nowhere. So
yeah, exactly. Speaking of levels, let's get into that a little bit. I gotta redo these levels anyway on these Mag 7 tickers. Oh wow, I have so many levels here on Tesla. I didn't even know. Well, okay, let's remove them all. How about that? Remove. There we go. Wow. All right, let's do this exercise. Tesla's daily chart is what I've got here.
Okay.
Let's just do some manual levels because these come out as alerts, right? In our little group.
Mhm.
So simply, I noticed this one right here, support, and it was pretty good support. It's interacting with that area now, so that's something. We have down here, this was an area of interest, which turns out yesterday as well. So can bring that down even just for yesterday's low. There we go. So there we go, Tesla. I got some interesting things there.
Yeah, it's right at a level.
Yeah. Video. Okay, these are out of the picture. So you have basically yesterday's low on NVIDIA, which has been a good support level recently. We have, what else? Where has it been? You see the high there, interacting with that quite regularly. If you go a little lower, you have this obvious high, but that gets very messy recently. Yeah, you can put one there. Oh, sorry. Where was it? Right about in that area. And you can even bring it lower to that bigger high. It looks like 4 days ago. A more recent high, let's say. You can see it was interacted with. So there you go. These are areas to look at if you're using the daily chart to find manual levels. This is how I do it. Let's see. Apple. What do we have here? It's an interesting place. You can see this was all support. Breakdown turned into resistance. So that makes sense. With these lows down here, oh, there's a gap. Look at that. It's a gap area. Kept bouncing through, and that was a low 2 days ago. So there you go. Fun stuff. Amazon's been a mess. Let's see. There we go. That makes some sense. You have this, keeps bouncing off of this area. One false breakdown. And on the high as well, you have these tweezers here. That makes sense. It was a high yesterday. And yeah, a bit of a false breakout. So again, daily chart levels, the way I'm doing it, it's far bigger than the 30-minute chart levels you're used to.
Mhm.
And so it takes a few days to get to these levels, then you may look at it. It's a little different than what Piyush was talking about, guys, with the highs and lows of the previous day. On something like Amazon, let's say, if you were playing with the low and high of yesterday, you'd have the low of yesterday, which is right here. And you may be interested in shorting it up down to what Amazon looks like today. But it would have gotten to that area. So you have something there. Anyways, I think this level makes more sense. This one is Microsoft. So yeah, this obvious support area broke through. You have the low of yesterday where it broke through. And actually these levels all they can sit there. You can see this was another example of working with the highs and lows of the previous days. You have the low on this day, and look at the next day. Just popped up, rejected, and straight down. So there you go. That works. And if you look at the trend, you can look at it as a continuation of this trend. And if you were short there, the target's obviously this area.
Yeah, Microsoft was a really good short, a day trade short this morning. And
Yeah.
if you see, I went through this whole which level should I use exercise, and once you have too many levels on a chart, you're going to hit something. So
Yeah.
I reasoned, okay, what is the highest probability level of a reaction? What is everybody looking at, whether it be swing traders, position traders, day traders? Prior day's high and low. Because for the breakout guys and the swing guys, they're setting orders above the prior day high or the prior day low. Even the longer term guys, because they've got their big cup and handles and consolidation patterns, etc. And so the first level they got to break in order to enter is simply the prior day's high and low. That could be a range over the course of the past 2 weeks, but the first thing they got to break is the prior day's high and low. And so that's why I took everything else off the chart except for prior day's high, low, the current open, prior day's close. And those are all automatically drawn. So I don't really have to do anything.
Love it. There you go, guys. Good example. Thanks, Piyush. Piyush setting here a really good example for all of us. Keeping it really simple. Make sure you don't overtrade. You don't have too many levels. You'll bump into stuff.
Hey, I'm learning from the best, so
It's all good, man. We're all here on this journey, so all fun. Good, man. Keeping it clear. I like the clear thinking. That's so important. Most people get lost. 2 losing trades and people start changing everything on their charts. The truth is 2 losing trades is a part of your trading plan. Keep it very simple like that. You don't have to change much. Nice. This one is Meta. We have that support down there. We have the support here, which interacted with recently. And this one you can see bounced off, came through. Works. AMD, what a mess. Got support there, support there. Don't even know what to say about AMD. It's just a disaster. Probably those
yeah,
two.
it's a mess. It needs a break above essentially 209 long side, and on the short side, it's got a break 192, and even better, lower than that, 189.
Yeah. Well, the thinking here is basically you got this whole choppy mess.
Yeah.
Get away from it, get out of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah, it's a no touch for me.
See, there's plenty of other opportunities in the market. You don't have to mess with AMD, guys. If it doesn't look good, leave it alone. Here's Google. We have the support. Obvious support. It's bouncing off it now, or it's at it now. Oh yeah, because gap area right up there. We got that level. Makes sense. Once further up, we can use. This is interesting. Look at this support. Then you have the descending wedge in a way. It broke down. It was resistance. That's a key level there. 320 or so on Google. Oh, good stuff. There you go, guys. You want to keep your life simple and make trading easy and create it in a way where you have rules in place that ensure you don't fall into your triggers of overtrading and all that. You want to figure this stuff out? Talk to Piyush. He knows what he's doing with it. He's doing it right now. Good stuff.
When are you coming back out to Colorado or San Francisco, California?
Yeah, the plan is this summer, July and August. So
Excellent.
let's see how that works out. Could be fun. Spend a couple of months out in the U.S.
Yeah,
And,
let me know when you're in my neck of the woods, or anywhere nearby. We'll do a meetup.
Yeah, for sure, man. I definitely want to go back to Colorado. It's been too long. Miss that place.
Excellent.
Yeah, and if you
Okay.
come out to California and SoCal, give me a ring.
Fantastic. Thank you. Mostly, I think I'll be based in San Francisco, and that's where my brother lives. And from there, move around.
Nice. What neighborhood?
He is just south of the Mission area. It's called it's not Soma. It's like one of the, I don't even know what it's called. Soma, yeah, but no, it's not. I know it's Soma. It's not called Soma. It's something nearby, something else.
South Park.
Anyways, that's right. Right near Dolores Park. There you go. Dolores
Okay.
Park. Yeah, in that zone. Nice little area. They just bought a house recently too, a very good one. So they like the life there.
Neat.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah.
I used to live when I moved out. He moved in. Like what? So weird. It was like 15 years ago.
They've cleaned it up a lot too, from what I hear. So
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good to see if they've actually done it. Personally, I have no interest in Northern California anymore. I mean, I'd rather go, if I'm going to the United States, I'd rather go to Texas and Colorado, San Diego, perhaps Florida for a little while. These are the kind of places I'd most likely find myself in. We'll see. We'll have some fun.
yeah, SoCal beach cities were my favorite when I was down there.
Yeah, I was in Del Mar last week. I was going to go on a desert camping trip, but it was way too hot.
Yeah.
I just went to Del Mar at Solana Beach, and just gorgeous there. Beautiful.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I spent a year down in UCSD in La Jolla, and that was gorgeous.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Well, this market is very boring. Incredibly boring. There's nothing that I want to play with. Sure, there's gonna be moves.
Chop.
Yeah, chop. It's all decent for scalping if you're very good at scalping. Mostly though, no. This is where you lose money. Yesterday and today, days like this, at least in the New York session. The Europe session was really fun. These moves were very good to see. But now, no. Well, we have quite a few Europeans in our group here. You guys should be trading in the London time zone. I'm doing that for Dubai. It's actually very useful. The futures market. It's very, very good.
Yeah, the first half hour was the best today. First half hour, 45 minutes, and then just sideways.
Yeah. Generally speaking, since we had the big drop yesterday with the big up move when Trump decided to delay the attacks,
Right.
after the market's been tricky to read for most people, especially during the New York session. You can see the oil market here. At least this has been a disaster. I've hardly touched it. I think it took one attempt. It took one attempt earlier today. It took the short up there, and took the stop out. That was basically it.
Yeah, it's so news driven right now.
Yeah.
Anything will just cause a wild spike. I've gotten stopped out of a bunch of decent positions and just okay, well,
Yeah.
my targets.
Just let it go. You don't want to blow up your account while the market is a mess. Conserve it until the market's available again or behaving well again. Okay, that the Dow Jones did not pick up on this earlier. Well, I wasn't watching it at the open. Big old reversal.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see again, look at this. This is just a Russell 2000. We had the big news-driven event 2 days ago or yesterday, and very difficult to read since then.
Market needs more time to digest the news, and it wants more news. So it wants more than just a tweet right now. And if there's anything substantive, then to resolve that conflict, then maybe we'll see a direction.
Yeah.
There's going to be so much jawboning back and forth, so much jockeying for position that the actual substance of the news I don't really take literally. They're all positioning to figure out how to get their goals accomplished. So I don't see either side stopping until they're done.
Yeah. What's this election thing? This is, well, it's not an election year, right? What do they call it? Midterms, is that right?
Yeah,
Trump?
yeah, midterms in November.
What does that work? How does that work? The people vote whether he's doing a good job or not. Is that kind of it?
No, it's not a presidential election year. It's for the Congress, for the House and the Senate. And then there's, of course, a bunch of other local elections, statewide elections, etc.
Oh, so go for the lower levels. All right. Cool. Well, let's see if that has Trump's making decisions based on that. I don't know.
And there'll be a new Fed.
Gubernatorial race this year, so we're gonna have a new governor in California.
That's right.
Who was
That's
on
a big one.
I was a big fan of California governor. That was funny. I figured Tom Cruise would be after him and then Brad Pitt, but that didn't happen. But oh well. And If you can read this stuff and be patient with it, there's plenty of opportunities in the market. All this excess volatility, as you guys were saying, will eventually settle down and give us neat moves with neat setups. Just got to sit through the excessive volatility.
All this patience and lack of activity is making me hungry.
Same here. Time for some breakfast. I like what I see on Palantir's chart. It formed the low a day and it's popped up.
Yeah, it looks interesting actually.
Yes, it had a little bit of a, I'm looking at the 5-minute charts, and it had a little bit of a pullback candle, but I need like at least 2 or 3 pullback candles. One's not enough for me.
Yeah.
And then look for those volume anomalies for my Q signal, and then look for my entry signal. But it could be potentially setting up for a long reversal. We'll see.
If you look at the prior day's low, it interacted quite a bit with it. And if you look at the which chart, you need a little bit more resolution than the 5-minute to get some really nice patterning. If you look at the 1-minute, you see at around 10:15 it consolidated and then broke through. The 20 SMA squeezed the price action against the bottom, against prior day's low. And then it squeezed down, then did what I call a fake down, or Wyckoff calls a spring, essentially, at 10:50, and then boom, quick sharp reversal, couple of volume spikes, and that's where the SMA turned around. And so the entry was, I didn't take it, but it was at the 11:03 candle. You got a burst above a prior range. That's all in hindsight, but that's essentially how I would play it, as a squeeze against the prior day's low. You could take a stop if you were short that. You could take a stop essentially, and probably not even a full stop after that little fake down at 10:50, and then the sharp reversal. That was almost like an exhaustion from the entire opening trend down.
Nice. Well, Piyush, got a lot of experience. Why don't you give us a webinar at some point soon about how you're seeing things, how you do things? I'm sure a lot of people in here would find it insightful if you're up for it.
Sure. As soon as I take care of a few other things, I'll try to put something together. It'd be pretty basic. I'm a pretty classical chart reader.
That's perfect. Yeah, I like that. I'm not too different. It's the thinking style. It's the mindset, the simplicity, and the simple black and white kind of methods. That's I think the real value that set an example doing those things. I think everyone needs more of that. So yeah, whenever you're ready for it, that would be fun to have.
Oh, that would be fun. Thank you.
Yeah. Last few minutes, I'm just observing this MES breakout from its minor level and then come back down for the retest now. Observing how these transactions are transpiring, how they're happening in real time. It's very interesting. Over here, you had major buyers right here earlier and came down, and let's see if those buyers are still there right now. You can see those sellers are there with a red right above. And the buyers sitting on the limit order, looks like they were right down here for now. It's all small stuff, but it's good to learn, good to watch and learn. See the seller being very aggressive, unbelievably aggressive so far. Started from up here, really. Look at that. This is interesting. Lots of market sellers here. Where are the buyers that were up here? Yeah, they're further up. Again, I don't like to enter watching real-time action anymore these days. But I do like to watch it only during the breakout area. Then I'll put the order into enter the retest if it gets back there. Again, it's very similar to watching the tape, except you can see the history of it as well, like what just happened in the last few minutes. That's the fun part about footprints. The sellers
Yeah,
have
it's a
been
very interesting looking chart. I'll have to do some study on it.
yeah, it's fun. It's so much fun that these candles are actually in the way. I'm gonna remove them. Just look at this. Make sure watching this because really I'm no longer looking at naked trading the way I used to. With you're looking for candle patterns and then enter on the new highs or lows. I'm looking at specifically for patterns on the tape, literally, which are these blocks. You can see now the big buyer stepped in right there. You can see where they were just a moment ago. There's lots of them further up, but unable to break through. This may take a moment. They were there earlier. You can see where they were. That big block of sellers, that's the one you want to watch for. So you can lots of aggressive buying right here. Lower than that, they were here. So if you're interested, the way I may trade this is go with these buyers and put your stop below here. That's aggressive trading. It's not my style these days. But you can see it. Now this was interesting. See that? That's your anomaly in the sense that lots of aggressive buyers, but their price dropped. So the sellers from up here looks like they may have stepped lower even. They'd be concerned about going long here. Just in watching that. So you can see now where the sellers are sitting up in this area, and the buyers were sitting here. Looks like where did they go? Yeah, there's plenty here. Obviously, you can see the bounce at the bottom here, but you know they're sitting in this area right about here, basically on the white line. So the in between is where you don't want to play. Lots of buyers came on again, lots of market orders, but you saw that failed to go up. Saw that now consistently in the last 2 minutes. This big player here still in the game. Now if the candle drops and you suddenly see massive red down here, and these guys got stopped out. Oh, there it is right now. Yeah, these guys got stopped out. Looks like all these guys buying up here are getting stopped out in this zone, most likely. It's right there. And now the sellers are taking over. So they broke through those major buyers right there. And right there, this was, to my eyes, the confirmation of it. Right now where all this red is printing. But these sellers, the big ones really are here. These guys are more the impulsive sellers, the way I see it. The major players are sitting here. If you want to draw lines on it, just based on this recent activity, you have this obvious support zone right about there. Here's your breakout happening. Wait for your retest and get involved. Again, if you like all this, I don't think it's at a big enough level for me. There you go. Sellers firmly in charge at this point. The downtrend has begun, and just looking at patterns again, lower highs, right? Almost like a double top. Zoom out. It's what is it? Yeah, failed breakout really. Zoom out again. Zooming out will tell you this is not a place to play with it. This is the place to play with it. Up here. Now this is all moving relatively fast, but again, when I'm trading the London session, watching this is like watching screenshots. It takes a few seconds before every bar gets filled, before they move away from that price. So it's much slower and easier. Much slower. All this that we saw in the last 5 minutes would be, I don't know, maybe half an hour. And you can see that buyers were here, right? People trying to buy, but unable to go up. So very likely to be the stopouts from the shorts covering positions. Stopouts, sorry. Oh, that's the other way around. Whatever. People trying to buy and unable to go. Stopouts the other way around. So So here's the fun. If you're really trading the breakout, the way I do it, again, identify the level, wait for the breakout to occur, and then identify the key sellers that really made the breakout happen, which to me is these guys. So when it comes back to retest these guys, I put my short order, the limit order, just about where the price is now, enter short. And the stop, I put it above where there was the anomaly, which was right about here. You can see these selling. What's a red, but the price moved up. Same area here. So my stop would be probably in this area. So the entry would be here, and the stop in this area. So I'm going with the sellers who made it move and putting the stop in the place where it's no longer a breakout. It's gone right back into that level, so I don't want to be in it. That's kind of how I place these things. And if you're really getting that sorted out, then RVR is pretty good. And you take a couple of attempts at it. But again, like I was saying, for now, this is just very local action. You don't want to play with all this. If you look at this, again, this is the break of high of day trade, right? A lot of people like this one. But truthfully, this is when it looks good, it looks like this. You enter somewhere here, most likely. It pops a little bit. You get 1, maybe 2R. Take off a lot of your position. You're out of break even. The whole thing's over. And that's it. If you want to trade like that, figure out how to do this. But I think there's more money to be made by waiting for the bigger levels. Much more money to be made. See what happens here now. This was resistance. Well, actually, it went through and came back, so it's no longer resistance. Let's see. You have the buyers here, and the sellers took over. The major sellers are here. We know that. Let's see. I want to see lots of green, a great big green bar here, and then drop. If that happens, that's the conviction for the short, at least more confirmation for the short. Not happening yet. You can see what a battle this is. Huh? I want to play with it in this zone. That's why you wait for the bigger picture levels, always. If you identify this as a bigger picture level, you've been long and stopped out, short and stopped out twice probably by now. So that's why you wait for it. So these sellers right here, these guys, there were a lot of them. Let's see if they hold. Next level of sellers are here. And these ones are very, very big. And there's a lot of buying activity there, much more than selling, but let's see. Still not really going up. Saw this one over here. Lots of buying activity, but the price dropped. Looking to see something similar here. Then you have that conviction to continue with the short. Oh, there we go. So that happened really quickly. Lots of buyers suddenly hit market orders, a huge order. If you had the tape, you'd probably see a big block order or something. There you go, big buying order. Continuing upwards to test these sellers up here now. You guys see that happen? It all happened. If you blinked your eyes, you would have missed it. It all happened right there. Half a second. So now they're up here. Getting into that zone. See the sellers here. This time again, lots of volume, lots of buying, lots of volume. But so far, stuck. Going up against these guys who took over, 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
Pretty fast chart, 1,000 ticks.
Yeah. I was playing with the 100-tick chart earlier and realized, you know what? I don't need to hurt myself. It's what it be.
Especially for such a liquid instrument.
Yeah. So I really don't bother too much. I don't trade this stuff. I'll trade it. I look at it like this at a big level, if it ever gets there. That too, not in the first hour of the New York session. And then we can get some really good entries and take a few attempts at it. Okay, here's where the fun is, right there now. See the buyers coming in, not able to push. Sellers are still firmly in the game. There's probably a lot of liquidity there if you have the order book. Lots of asks on the book. Yeah, you see, this is where you don't play with it. Wait for a bigger picture level. Look at all this. In the end, this is all just chop. Up and down everywhere. We just really zoomed in to be able to read it. I want to get to a place where it makes a lot more sense. Well, let me see if we get the footprint charts at some place. Maybe up here. No, it's not there. In here, perhaps. Yeah. There's your anomaly right here. This was pre-market around 9 a.m. Price went up. Massive amount of buyers unable to go through it. The price went down after that. The sellers came in here. They came in lower. Once you're getting that conviction, that's your area to perhaps think about it. Stop above there. And this is all just nothing more than a retest of this breakout that happened earlier. Actually, I think this was the trade I took earlier. Yeah, something like this. You can see that. That was a support. The breakout happened with tremendous amount of selling volume. And then the anomaly happened with the retest. It's all very slow and easy to read. This is a key level, much bigger picture level. So you would expect it to behave better, and you can take some, put some risk on it. Very different to what we're seeing now, because this is not a bigger picture level. This is just a high of day so far. It's really nothing. So you're gonna get lost in it. Anyways, right inside of this, what we have is, yeah, these sellers are firm. We saw them 15 minutes ago, very firm. All these buyers, with all their aggression, still unable to go. Oh, look at that. Big bunch of sellers came in right there too. Beginning to see another lower high. Well, it's odd because you might call this the high, and then that's a higher high. These things become pretty subjective. And in the end, if you're getting confused like this, that means it's choppy. That's how you know it's choppy and you shouldn't be trading it. These were the buyers earlier. It looks like they were there sitting on the order book. They were aggressive here, these guys. It seems like there are buying orders sitting right here. They were here earlier too. We saw them really ignite right here, 11:36. You can see this was a key area. It moved. Oh, and here's the fun part. One tricky counterintuitive thing about these charts, footprint charts, at least the way I've got it set up, is you see lots of green, you think buyers are in charge. You see lots of reds, you think sellers are in charge. Actually, it's not true. What you're seeing is just the market orders hitting the limit orders. And yes, market orders make the market move from one limit order to the other, but you really want to identify when the market orders hit these limit orders. Are the limit orders more powerful? Like the market orders are unable to liquidate everything on the book? If that's the case, you know then that these limit orders are big. These are probably big players, very patient players. And they're accumulating their position or distributing their position at that area. Once you know that, you want to go with that. You want to go with the patient guys, the limit orders, not the market orders, which you're seeing all these things move on the chart. So it's a little counterintuitive. So really, what's printing here is just the end result of the transaction between the market orders and the limit orders. So it's a little bit, took me a little bit to wrap my head around all that. And this is a little beyond naked trading candlesticks, right? And the only reason I get into all this stuff is just to get better entries. When I'm able to get a lot of excellent entries, I might enter like right here with a stop right down here. This was very tight. And then just going up to there is 5R, just that. And I'm able to take a lot of 10 and 20-hour trades lately just because of this kind of information. So that's the whole point of it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be bothered. But this truly is 80-20 stuff. As in, you get better entries. What would be 5R is now 15R. And you have the futures instruments, which allows you to hold it for that long. So lots of advantages. All right, anyways, chop zone. We know the buyers are here on the limit on the order book. We know the sellers are here in the order book. So it's just bouncing around. And that's the end of that. It'll bounce around. until some aggressor takes over and breaks through. Well, there you go. Fun stuff. Fun. I think that's my fun for the day. There's no point looking at these things. I'll end up creating a trade. I know it. No point. Oh, sorry. I didn't even look at the questions here. What are you looking at? On up, do you use 1,000 ticks for all futures products or change it based on MNQ? Just 1,000 ticks for everything. Really. And I'm actually not too fussed about the ticks. You know, if I could put on a 5,000 tick chart, I'd probably put it on. Like I said, I'm really more interested in these little areas of buyers and sellers. I'm watching how they're transacting. I'm almost ignoring the candle. Almost. They just help me kind of draw some levels on once in a while, but that's really it. So yeah, always 1,000 tick chart for me. Cool. All right, 7:45 already. Cool. I think I'll be heading out. Anyone else want to talk about anything else? Any few questions or anything? All good?
Thanks, Howie.
You're welcome. Good to hear from you again, Piyush. Think about that webinar. If you're up for it, you know, but good to have you back in the room again.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. All right, guys. Well, that was fun. Take it easy. Try and get these recordings up from yesterday and today. And we'll come back tomorrow and do it all over again.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Avi.
guys. Thank you, guys. Take it easy.